Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the mid-December reading, the mid-December love check-in for the sign of Leo. But before we do that, just reminding you all that this is my first Christmas on YouTube and I'm giving away this beautiful Spirit Animal Oracle deck from Colette Baron Reed. 68 card Oracle deck, really lovely. The unboxing video is linked in the description, and if you want to be in the running for this deck, all you have to do is be subscribed on my channel and leave me a comment in any of the videos that you're watching, just to let me know that you're interested in the drawing. All right guys, we're going to get right into it for my beautiful Leos. I do have my moon in Leo. I'm a Sagittarius. Strong Sagittarius with 4 planets, but my moon is in Leo, and that is a lovely placement for the moon, of course. And I do love my Leo brothers and sisters, so let's get right into it. And please remember, my readings are not gender specific or sexual orientation specific, okay? This is just masculine, feminine energies that we're looking at and that apply to each and every one of us. All right, guys, so Leo, what's up for you this mid-December? Let your friends help you. All right, and we have worth waiting for. All right, so some of you guys might be going on dates that your friends are setting you up with, or perhaps you have a situation with someone and friends can help you with that, you know, understanding. Let's get right into your spread. We won't really know what those messages mean for you, Leo, until we pull out your spread. So I'm going to do a simplified Celtic cross spread, because it's just a mid-month love check-in. If you want to look at the longer, in-depth reading for the month, that's also linked in the description. And I believe your 2020 outlook is up. That's linked in the description also. And your 2020 love outlook is also up. All right, guys. So for our beautiful Leos for this middle of December period, last month of the year. Really an incredible month for a lot of people. You know, this is all the different planetary aspects this December. We just have we're right in the middle of the full moon now. Beautiful, beautiful energy everywhere. But a lot of unexpected things happening as well. So let's just see what's up with my beautiful Leos. All right, guys. Straight out, we have at the center, one of my favorite cards, 9 of Pentacles. Covered with the Emperor, of course, that's Aries energy. Conscious, you have a 9 again of Wands, and then you have a Page of Wands. All right, Leo. Let's move this all up a little bit so you can see all of the cards. There we go. Coming in with a 6 of Pentacles and leaving the month with another 9. 3 9s on a simplified spread. It's a lot. It's a lot of dawning, the sort of night before the dawn, right? The dusk before the dawn. 9s is that last step before we get to completion. Bottom of the deck, we have the Chariot, of course. So, Leo, we're really talking about a last step for you this mid-December period. The last step before you get to, well, I'm going to say before you get on your chariot in a way, before you level up. Let's talk about it. 9 of Pentacles is your center card, and you are covered with the Emperor. Now, the Emperor is, of course, associated with Leo, but this is nice energy. Excuse me, with Aries. This is nice energy, Leo. 4 is the number for stability. And the Emperor, you know, this is why he's associated with Aries energy, right? He goes out into the world. He initiates. He's the progenitor. He's the one who stabilizes in a lot of ways, right? He brings order. He brings order to a situation. 9 of Pentacles is what your main energy you're resonating with, and this is, of course, Leo. You are right now busy with your career, your coin, your ambitious path. I love the 9 of Pentacles card because this is very similar to the Queen of Pentacles in a lot of ways, but the 9 of Pentacles is someone who has worked very hard for everything. They've worked for that garden, and they've worked to master their skills in a way, right? It's not like they haven't married into money. They didn't win the lottery. It didn't just fall into their laps. Nine of Pentacles is someone who's really put their career or their business path, above all else. And oftentimes they've had to pay the price, Leo. Sometimes what we have with the 9 cards of all of the suits is we have a little bit of that hermit energy, in a sense that you're walking the path alone. And with the 9 of Pentacles, we talk about, someone who oftentimes will have had to sacrifice deeper relations, closer relations, for the sake of their career, right? Because what they're trying to achieve for their lives is just so, so important. And this is where you're at, Leo. A lot of you are at this place. But again, like I said, 9 has that inherent feeling of the hermit, and it could very well be that right now, Leo, you have arrived, you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, your rewards have come in, but yet, are you ready now perhaps for that deeper connection? Are you ready now to share this garden with someone? It could be that you are waking up to the fact, or you may be looking, to the idea of possibly making room for somebody in your life, right? I'm going to say this reading is definitely for a Leo who is single right now, right? And who may indeed be calling in a partner, or who isn't necessarily even actively calling in a partner, but you are at the perfect stage in your life for a partner to come in, because you've accomplished so much of your personal goals already, right? So it's not like a partner coming into you or a union coming into you is going to keep you from your path. You're already on your path. You've already accomplished so much. The Emperor, being that energy crossing you, is certainly a feeling of wanting to maintain stability. Take care that you don't get too sort of, because the one thing with the Emperor energy is it can go a little bit too off balance. It can go to the extreme, and sometimes Emperor can be too domineering, too restrictive, too constricting in an orderly fashion without allowing room to grow, right? Or room to step out of the box, right? So be careful that this energy isn't something that's keeping you, that is going the other way, in a sense that you are wanting to maintain your stability so much that you refuse to allow anybody in, right? Now, 9 of Wands and Page of Wands. Here we have the next 9. 9 of Wands, again, the figure is alone. And the figure is now looking back on a lot of ups and downs he's gone through, right? A lot of trials and tribulations he's been through on a particular path. The burdens. This is 9 of Wands talks about really beginning to see the burdens that you have taken on, the responsibilities, and really how much it has impacted you. Oftentimes, 9 of Wands comes in when you're getting very close to letting a particular burden go or laying it down, but you are still having to sort of dig deep for a little bit more energy to get to the end of that tunnel. The light is there at the end of the tunnel, but you still need a little bit more work to get there. And not only that, the 9 of Wands is a stage in your life where you're beginning to understand, or you're beginning to see that you do want to lay a particular burden down. You're beginning to see it for what it is. And you're beginning to see the isolation and alienation that this particular stage in your life may have caused between you and the rest of the world. And you see it. And you begin to understand that something has to be done. And so now the final work begins to be put in to get to that 10 of Wands, which would be the end of this stage. Page of Wands is in the back of your mind. And right now, right now, Leo, you are feeling extremely sort of creative, fearless. Page of Wands talks about being idealistic and courageous, and in the face of the rest of the world oftentimes looking at you and telling you that you can't do it, or that your idea is absurd. But the Page of Wands does not care. He has that very sort of young conviction that he can get it done, that he can follow his idealistic path, He's always looking to the future. He has his head up. And of course, the fire, the passion that is associated with this wand's energy is something that he doesn't care about what the rest of the world thinks. And we see that with all of the pages. The pages are the first step on the court card rung, as it were. And with all of the pages, we see an overcoming of fear, the first step to overcoming fear in that particular area. And here we have the first step of really overcoming your fear in terms of going after what you truly desire in life, your passion, your goal, your dreams, right? The first thing that stops us from that is fear of failure, rejection, being ridiculed, all of these different things that we worry about and that we fear is very, very normal. But the page oftentimes indicates that stage of overcoming that and being able to take the first step out into the world. It can also indicate the arrival of messages or information coming in. But in this case, this is very much Leo, you are right now. Certainly with this Emperor energy also crossing you, you are accomplishing something right now with such authority and power and stability. But it is something that you find for yourself to be your sort of ambition, your idealistic path. And nobody else may understand it but you are accomplishing it. Absolutely accomplishing it, and you're absolutely going for it. Now, it's interesting because this is a mid-month love check-in, right? And so in a lot of ways, I'm going to say for you, Leo, this is definitely, like I said, for a Leo that is single, but you've been going through a lot recently. I think this year there has been something in your life with regard to your, like I said, with regard especially to this ambitious path that you've been on. It's been a struggle. Right, but you've had your conviction behind you, and I think you simply have not had the room or the time or the space to really engage with a union, a connection, a lover. You may have dated a little bit, but there hasn't really been much because you have been just so busy trying to get yourself into a position where you can be comfortable dating, right? Where you can be comfortable with who you are, so that when you go out into the world to meet someone, to get closer to someone, that it's from a position of power, from a position of stability, and certainly from a position of you having the confidence to present your authentic self, right? Let your friends help you, and worth waiting for makes a lot of sense in the sense that I think, Leo, most of you who are in this, resonating with this situation, your friends are probably going to be the ones who bring a lover to you. It'll be through your friends because you're not actively seeking this. You know, you may be now making that now that you know you're about to come out of this period, you may be, opening up your focus for it or your intention. You may be opening up the door to it, but it's not something that you're actively going for. And so I think for a lot of you, Leos, who are resonating with this reading, it's going to be very much of a shock coming in. It's going to be a real surprise, this person coming into your life, and certainly it's going to come through your friends. Now, you come into this period with a Six of Pentacles and a Nine of Swords. Interesting. Six of Pentacles does talk about giving and receiving, understanding the nature of giving, understanding the nature of receiving, understanding that, sometimes you have to know when to accept help. This could very well be also with regard to sort of, although this is a Pentacles card and we're talking about finances and abundance helping us, but this can also really indicate that right now you are kind of in a place where, perhaps you do need to ask for a little bit of help from your friends, or certainly be open to your friends helping you. Could also very well be some of you may be working in charitable areas, right? You may be working on humanitarian causes, because Six of Pentacles also indicates that someone who is working sort of in the community, somebody who is working for the vulnerable or working for the underdog, someone who has learned the wealth of giving, how, the wealth that they receive in kind in their heart and spirit from giving of what they can give, right? And so for some of you, I'm going to say you may be working in this field, or you may have an area of your life in this field. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if a lover comes to you through this area of work, either through your charitable work, or through your helping someone. Again, this feels very much like a kind of fated meeting that may happen for some of you Leos. Like you may go out with friends, you may be doing an event, you may be doing a charitable event, you may be helping a friend, right? And through your help with a friend, you may indeed come to a love connection. But you round this middle month out with the 9 of Swords, and some of you are a little bit worried. There's some anxiety there, there's some worry there, and a little bit of regret. I wonder where that's coming from. It could very well be that there may be something in the past that you regret with a relationship, but there's some kind of anxiety. Some of you, Leos, you may have thrown yourself into your work and into your career and ambitious sort of goals this year because of a heartache in the past. And now that you are perhaps coming back into that area or that energy of wanting somebody to come in, or perhaps wanting to have a union with someone, it's bringing up a lot of these old memories that you have from a recent or a past sort of breakup, perhaps. It's almost as if you bury yourself in your work. You're burying yourself in trying to accomplish your goals, right? It's been a long, hard struggle. But every time you go to thinking about a relationship or connecting with someone, you're right away brought back to this memory of a relationship long past that ended. And that hurt, right? And you may feel guilty for it ending, or you may feel a little bit like, you know, whenever you begin to sort of open up to someone, you just get reminded of this pain, you know, and interestingly enough, it just causes you more anxiety in a way, you know. So it's this kind of feedback, you know. You go back into throwing yourself into your work. You go back to throwing yourself into sort of your ambitious goals. But you know that, you know, and I want to say 9 of Wands for a lot of you can also be just having gone through a period of difficulty and trials and tribulations in your love life. You know, you may have had quite a few different relationships that just didn't work out, and they just continue to be, oh, not another one. Oh, here we go. And it's like, you know, you're looking back and you're saying, wow, you know, none of these have worked out. None of these have really, you know, they've brought me a lot of trials and tribulations, but they haven't worked out. It's time for me to let go a certain type of relationship. Some of you may indeed need to let go of a certain type of person that you've been going after, or a certain type of lover or mate that you've been going after, because you will have already been through perhaps a couple of people, of those types of people, or whatever you gravitate towards, and it's continued to sort of just bring difficulty, right? It may be that you are used to gravitating towards people who have certain kinds of dysfunction because maybe you feel sorry for them, or you may be gravitating towards certain types of toxic people, or gravitating towards the type of person who can't ever give you back what you really need. You know, sometimes we choose people in our lives for us. You know, we choose a certain type of person, or we go after a certain type of person, and it isn't until we realize or we look at the fact that we keep choosing people that make us unhappy, or that don't make us happy, certainly, for some reason. And again, that's also part of 9 of Wands, having to look at that and say, wait a minute, why do I keep picking these relationships that just end up causing me pain, or just end up being unsatisfying? You know, what part of me is choosing for this, right? And I think for some of you, that's definitely going to be something that you're working with this middle December, or working on rather, you know, something that you're coming to terms with. And again, letting your friends help you and talk to you and remind you that, you know, you deserve a better relationship rather than the kind that continually sort of bring, you know, bumps and bruises and injury is important, you know. Let's get your clarifiers out, Leo, and then we're going to call it a reading. This is just the middle of the month love check-in for those of you who are interested in your love life this middle of December. And again, this reading is not for a Leo who's with someone, but certainly for a Leo who's been struggling, kind of perhaps opening up to the right kind of partner. There it is, Four of Cups and the Moon. Okay. Knight of Cups and the Fool. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. All right. So again, Yeah, the Queen of Swords talks about getting rid of sort of the masks that we wear. Again, it could be that some of you, you're looking for a certain type of person that fulfills a certain role, excuse me, fulfills a certain role, or it could be that you've placed yourself in a particular role that isn't really who you are, you know, and you're realizing that it's time to be who you are. It's time to let go of that mask, perhaps, that you've been wearing that continues to sort of bring the type of people in your life that aren't really good for you or aren't really the type of people that would make you personally happy. Four of Cups is coming over that Nine of Wands. It's interesting because, yeah, help, you know. Four of Cups talks about taking it for granted, you know, taking certain things for granted. Taking, you know, it can be taking for granted, like your friends, for instance, you know, not appreciating their help when it's extended. You know, but Four of Cups can also talk about sometimes just like the need to sort of make people step up. You know, Four of Cups is my show and prove card, you know. Sometimes we need to let, you know, we have to stop, you know, not accept cups from people until they can prove to us or at least show to us what that cup represents. What comes with this cup, you know? Why should I take it? Because up until now, for some of you with this Nine of Wands, like I said, you may have indeed been taking cups from people, engaging in relationships with people who haven't really proven that they have what it takes to be with you. Yet you engage in it, you allow them in, and then you find yourself once again in this very difficult union or this very difficult relationship that doesn't actually bring you the happiness you thought. It's time to perhaps realize that, you know, people, you know, when somebody wants to get close to you, they have to earn you, right? Whatever happened to earning somebody's heart? You know, very few people earn hearts anymore and earn the union anymore. It's like nowadays, as long as somebody can come and say the right words to you, it seems to be enough. And it just isn't, because once you get into a relationship, you realize that, you know, this person never showed you any proof that they could be what you needed. They never showed you any proof that they would even put the effort in that was needed. And so it's time to sort of hold people accountable. Moon comes in as a testing phase. Moon energy talks about, you know, going through the unknown. You know, Page of Wands is fearless in a lot of ways, following his conviction, following his ideals, right? And it's a real testing phase for you, Leo, in the sense that can you hold true to your ideals and convictions when it comes to your relationships as well? You know, what you choose for yourself. You know, are you able to sort of give relationship, not only give a relationship a chance, but also when you know that it isn't what you need, do you have the strength to say, yeah, this isn't what I need, and then to leave, you know, or to end it? Or are you going to just remain in these cycles, right, that are unhappy? So the moon is a real testing phase of your strength and your resolve. Certainly a phase right now where some of your criteria that you should be putting in place for people to get close to you, for people to be allowed in your heart, you know, this criteria needs to also be put in place in the sense that now you may be dating, you may have friends getting you dates, you may be meeting new people if you haven't for a while. How are you going to handle them? You know, are you going to just let the first one in, or are you going to take your time? Are you going to really sort of, you know, follow your heart, just as you do in your career, you know, just as you do in your sort of objective for your life, your goals? Do you do that also in your love life? Right? So a lot of times when I do private readings for people, a lot of readings I do for people, for very successful people in their business or their career, but yet they find a little difficulty perhaps meeting the right person. And I say, you know, you have such skill and expertise, and you're so, you know, you carry the rest of your life so well, right? With so much stability and grounding. Apply some of that skill to your love life as well. Apply the same skills that make you successful in your business and your career. Apply them to your love life, you know. Make sure that people check the right boxes. Make sure that they tick the boxes and that they at least fulfill a certain criteria for you. And this approach will also bring success in your private life, and it'll allow you to not waste your time on people who aren't for you, right? And allow you to have the strength to say no to those people, and also allow you to have the strength to allow the right type of people into your life. Knight of Cups is coming in, and this is what I said earlier. I believe that some of you are going to meet someone through your work, either helping a friend or helping the community, and sure enough, there's your Knight of Cups to confirm that. So certainly some of you who are doing very well right now, who have been working very hard in your business and career, somewhere along that path in your sort of working day to day, or in your working with the community or your friends, there is a Knight of Cups coming in for you. There's someone who you meet who wants to exchange their cup of love with you, who wants to come for you, right? They want to come towards you. And this is definitely what I felt earlier very strongly, that a lot of you are going to make that connection. Certainly this mid-December period through your work. And of course, the Nine of Swords and the Fool. You're about to enter a very new stage. The Chariot is here. So you're about to really, a lot of you Leos are about to go on a particular path or stage in your life that is very sort of like fated. It's something that was meant to be. It's something you've been working towards. You can feel it. You can feel this new stage just about to take off. Certainly with the Fool coming in, a lot of you have resonated up and made a quantum leap in sort of your understanding. You can see the tiger of fear. The tiger always represents fear. It just has no hold on him whatsoever, right? He tries, but the Fool is ignoring him completely. So you don't have any fear. You're ready to move forward. And I think this last little Nine of Swords is just the last little bit of regret, perhaps, that you felt about past relationships. Like I said, Nine of Swords is oftentimes just a misery that we put on ourselves. It can be a kind of a guilt trip that we put on ourselves. It really doesn't have any sort of real bearing on facts, right? It doesn't mean that you have anything to feel guilty for. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong, but it's just this kind of, it's the misery we put ourselves under when we are overcritical on ourselves, or too hard on ourselves, or we've taken on responsibility for things that aren't really our responsibility, right? And it's causing us a lot of sleepless nights. But I think you're going to get over this, and you're going to get past this and realize that, everything happens for a reason. And there wasn't really much that you could have done in the past relationships, but there's certainly something that you can do now in these current relationships, in a sense of making sure you come and you show up who you are, and making sure that the people you deal with do the same. The Queen of Swords doesn't really entertain phonies or fakes, or because she's done the hard work of cutting away her own mask. You can see the strong, look at, she's exhausted. Having cut away that mask, the sword of truth, she's now finally emerged from the clouds into clarity and clear sight. This is an understanding about who you are, and an understanding about what kind of people you want in your life that's coming in. And certainly with this Chariot energy, going forward is going to be, this is going to be very important. This is going to change the dynamic of the type of people that you let into your life. And certainly right in time for this Knight of Cups to come in very, very soon, and for you to handle that in accordance with moon energy, in the sense that it will be a testing phase. How will you handle this Knight? Will you put him or her at least through your own sort of testing phase, in a sense that do they have what it takes to at least be with you, to work on a relationship with you? Because let's face it, all relationships are work. And no matter how much you love each other, or no matter how attracted you are to each other, the relationship that was worth waiting for, the relationship that is a good, strong relationship, is the type of relationship where both people are willing to work at it and will not just give up at the first sign of difficulty. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it. This is your reading, your middle December love check-in. This is certainly for a Leo who's kind of getting back into the dating game, getting back into the relationship game, perhaps after some difficult relationships in the past, but so much has changed about you, so much has changed about your outlook, that this new love stage in your life promises to be very, very different indeed. For those of you who want to get a private private reading, all you have to do is follow the link at the top of your screen. You can get a private reading, or you can just get a recorded tarot answers, which is like a 10-minute recorded answer to your question. Please don't forget to phrase the question when you order that service, or otherwise you'll have to get a private reading. All right, guys? But for right now, Leo, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of December 2019, and I shall see you in 2020. Bye-bye now.